Let's dive right in. Today, we're looking at a brilliant explainer that takes the surprisingly complex science of how a plant grows and distills it into a super fun, character-driven adventure. As someone who completely geeks out over breaking down how things work, I absolutely adore how this source material uses imagination and physical movement to teach the plant life cycle. So get comfortable and let's analyze this incredible journey from the soil stirring up to the sun. Right off the bat, the explainer pulls us in by setting this hushed, quiet scene. Picture it. We're asked to look deep down into the dark, cozy dirt to find Pip the seed. He's curled up in a tiny little ball, wrapped in a brown blanket, just gently snoring. Starting the story in this hidden underground world, it's a fantastic narrative hook to instantly grab your attention and set the stage for all the crazy growth that's about to happen. And Pip's opening line is just the perfect framing device. He says his tummy is rumbling. That right there shows us that a dormant seed isn't just a lifeless little rock in the dirt. Sure, it looks like it's just sleeping, but on the inside, it is getting hungry. It's prepping for a massive biological adventure, getting ready to wake up and grow. Putting a relatable human spin on it like this makes the underlying science so accessible. Okay, here's our agenda for today, Pip's adventure map. We'll start by meeting Pip, then cover the wet wake-up call, stretching out, reaching for sunshine, and finally, how the plant cycle continues. Chapter 1. Meet Pip, the seed. Underground and cozy. So here is the biological catch. A seed actually cannot grow all by itself. A dormant seed absolutely needs an external stimulus to trigger that growing process. It can't just sit in the soil forever waiting. The outside environment literally has to knock on its door to get the whole thing started. Establishing this dependency early on is absolutely crucial for understanding how plants survive. Which brings us to Chapter 2, the wet wake-up call. Rain. Now, I absolutely love this part. Pip's reaction to the water is so visceral. The explainer uses this slurping action, and it perfectly translates the invisible, super complex mechanics of water absorption into something we can all instantly relate to. That slurp represents the exact moment the physical transformation kicks off. Water is literally the key that unlocks the seed's potential. Moving right along to Chapter 3, stretching out and up. Pip is waking up. So, how does it explain roots? Well, instead of throwing heavy botanical terms at us, it calls them little anchors. The explainer actually prompts learners to wiggle their fingers low to the ground to physically feel this concept. It's such a clever metaphor. It shows exactly how plants have to establish a rock-solid grip deep in the earth before they can ever hope to reach up into the sky. And then the breaking of the surface. This is treated as a highly dramatic biological moment. Feeling a tickle on its head and throwing off that dirt blanket completely visualizes the seed's transformation. It has officially shed its dormant state. It's no longer just a hidden little ball in the ground. Enter Sprout. Our character has completely transformed. He traded in that sleepy brown blanket for bright, stretchy green energy. This triumphant little intro signals to the learner that the organism is fundamentally different now and entirely ready for the next massive phase of its life. And that takes us to Chapter 4, Reaching for Sunshine and that magic energy. This highlights such a beautiful biological balancing act. You've got roots anchoring deep down into the dirt, while the leaves are reaching high up into the sky. It really frames the plant as this incredible multitasker, literally growing in two completely opposite directions at the exact same time, just to secure what it needs to survive. Now, photosynthesis is famously tricky to explain, right? But this explainer distills it perfectly as simply eating sunshine. By having learners make big sunshine circles with their arms, it turns abstract solar energy into actual tangible food that the sprout is consuming. It brilliantly frames the sun's energy as the ultimate vitamin that allows the plant to pop out those gorgeous green leaves. So what's the ultimate recipe for growth? It boils down to 3 crucial ingredients. To successfully turn a sleepy little seed into a lively plant, you need a cozy bed in the earth, water from the soil, and bright sunshine from the sky. Taking all those complex environmental requirements and turning them into the simple 3-part recipe makes it incredibly easy for anyone to remember. Finally, we arrive at Chapter 5, The Plant Cycle Continues, the grand finale. Let's review Pip's journey all together. Seeing the timeline at a glance really reinforces the sequence. We go from the dormant sleep phase, to the root drinking phase, to the sprout reaching phase, all the way to the sun eating leaf phase. Mapping it out chronologically like this really solidifies the science. But why does this all matter? Well, all this anchoring and reaching serves one singular biological purpose: to grow flowers, make brand new seeds, and start the whole process all over again. The explainer makes sure we understand that this adventure of life is hardwired to repeat itself continuously. And to really cement this knowledge, the explainer caps things off with a plant power dance. This is just an ingenious educational tool. By physically acting out the 4 stages, squatting down low, slurping water, stretching roots, and growing up high, it translates complex biology into pure muscle memory. It ensures the science sticks long after the explainer is over. So what's the big takeaway here? Next time you see a simple little weed poking out of the sidewalk, consider the absolute biological miracle it took to get there. But also think about how elegantly we can communicate that magic. The journey from soil to sun proves that even the most complex scientific systems can be understood through simple, relatable human narratives. Makes you look at your garden a whole lot differently, doesn't it?